Yep, we're ready. Let's
Okay,
go.
cool. All right, so today's session, as you seen by the title, is going to be on trading tips for NFTs and crypto, and on market mentality. Um, and I've put together a list of, hold on, let me change my screen here, a list of a few tips that I put together. And I mean, it's a big list, so I think maybe we might have to go over it over a few sessions, but I'll do what I can right now. Um, Hold on. Let me just change the screen here. Um, Berries, how do I change the screen to Chrome on the Discord?
What do you mean?
As in like the share my screen so I can change it to Chrome, or do I?
Oh, okay. So on Mac, in
Right.
order to be able to do that, you need to have them all on desktop. So what I mean by that is you can't put your apps on different screens that you can just slide around with. You know what I mean? So they
Not
all need to
particularly.
be on the desktop. So you can't use them full screen. That's what I mean.
Oh, I'm not using the full screen. No, wait. So if I,
So both have to be not full screen at the same place.
yeah, none of them are, but I think it's because I've selected.
Yeah, you need to then select Chrome, and then you can do that on your screen sharing, like settings. So when you click share screen, you can just click on the screen, and then it'll show you the options. Oh wow, infinity.
Yeah.
That's not it.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Wait. I'm so bad at this, man. I just
I can't believe you've never shared your screen before.
I'm a rookie. I'm sorry.
No, it's like with friends and stuff. I don't
Yeah, I
know,
know.
doing something
I just
together
I
on
just I just
Discord.
can't see the the option to change it to Chrome. Shall I just?
When you wait on when you're on Discord, when you click on the green screen button on
Oh,
the
it's that
left,
one. Oh
bottom
yeah.
left, yeah, that's where change windows.
Change
Go there.
windows.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
thank.
and then choose. Okay,
Oh my
perfect.
gosh. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let me find Chrome real quick. Okay. So yeah, this is the first tip I have written down. Don't be so critical of your trading mistakes. We all make them, and use them as a learning experience, right? And to expand on this, I guess I'll start off with the whole usual story of where I got into crypto and stuff, and the mistakes I made. Because obviously I started off as a bit of a newbie and whatnot. I actually got back into, well, not back in. I got into crypto pretty recently. Actually, to be fair, I got in around October of last year. I'll show you exactly where. Change windows. I got into crypto right around when ETH was. Let me just go on the daily real quick. Right around here, right? So, I mean, I pretty much almost bought the top, right? And the first mistake I pretty much made was, I guess, the people I was kind of taking advice from, right? I started off, doing inverted commas research, right? Just going onto YouTube and, finding out some stuff about crypto and stuff because obviously I really know nothing. And I fell for the trap of all these thumbnails, right? The 10x gains, 100x gains, the list of these next altcoins are gonna blow up and whatnot. And you know what? I truly believed it all, right? Little did I know about cycles or bull cycles, bear cycles. Even just to give an example of some of this, right? I'll just change my screen to YouTube. Oh, there isn't a Chrome window. How odd. Screens. Okay. Can you see the YouTube screen all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you
Yeah,
switch back?
it was there.
Oh, you see YouTube? Okay, yeah. So, I mean, even like you see thumbnails like this, right? Millionaire make opportunity, or I mean, I know one that I was watching pretty much every day, crypto banter, right? I mean, you just see it. I mean, even now, 7 hours ago, these altcoins are loading up for a huge breakout, right? 100x in 3 years. I was falling for all this stuff, right? And little did I know that I was falling for a massive trap, right? And the first real big mistake I made was not taking profits, right? Because I was watching these YouTube videos and I was watching about the altcoins, and obviously I started up building my portfolio, right? So I started off buying some ETH, like I said, around like 4,000, right? And then I started off buying some metaverse coins, right? And I'll say my first decent play was hold on, I'm gonna have to search it up real quick. D-Race, right? Okay, yeah, this is the kind of TA I was doing back in the day. Gosh, that's wild. Let me get rid of that. So D-Race, I bought this coin around $350, right around here, right? And I remember I literally watched this whole pump right up to here. I mean, what kind of move is that? That's about it's about a 170% move, right? And the first big mistake I made, apart from obviously listening to the YouTube and stuff, was not taking profits, right? I bought in at around $350, and I watched it go up this much percentage. And the worst part was I remember Crypto Man Ran from Crypto Banter was actually, he made a comment. I don't know if it was a tweet or if it was on the YouTube video or whatnot, but he was saying, whenever you see a green day, just buy. And I was like, you know what? I've never thought about it that way. I thought, always buy the red and sell the green, right? I thought, okay, I'm gonna try what he does, right? So I actually, not only did I hold that position at $3.50, but I was scaling up, buying more on the way up, right? And D-Race slowly became one of my favorite coins, right? Just because it was going up, right? Next thing I know, the metaverse has a blow off top, sandbox crashes and all the metaverse coins go with it, right? As well as the rest of the market. And I ended up actually selling D-Race right around here, right? For a break even. Well, I mean, it was a break even in price level, but considering I was buying all the way up, I actually sold for a loss, right? So yeah, I mean, that was my first that was my first trade, really, back last year. And if we're talking NFTs, I'll go to the first NFT I bought. Wow, this one's really bad. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, 61 volume. I mean, that looks good compared to when I saw it when I first minted it, to be honest. I mean, see, when I first got into NFTs, right, I remember I was watching, again, with the YouTube, right, I was watching, I think it was a Brett Malinowski video, and he was talking about how he made 6 figures off whitelist spots, right? And I was thinking, wow, that's crazy. I was thinking, what am I doing in coins and crypto when I could be here in NFTs, making these kind of gains. So it was around, I like to say mid-November, early November is when I started, really looking into NFTs and stuff. And then I found this project, right? Obviously, little did I know about the space, right? So I didn't really know there was like, bad projects and whatnot. I kind of thought that, every project kind of like did a 10x, 5x, like the YouTubers kind of say, right? What I did was, I mean, it wasn't a bad idea at the time, but I thought, the quickest way to learn was to get involved with the team, right? So I became a mod for this project, and I ended up minting 7 of them between me and my friend, right? And I was such a newbie back then. I didn't even look at the OpenSea to check if there was any volume. I was just, I'm bullish on the project and all of this and that. And I minted 7 of them, and I quickly came to realize that, how illiquid JPEGs really were. Because, I mean, if I look back to the mint day, I mean, I was expecting this was some sort of hype project. I was hearing all of the buzzwords. It's a DAO, there's staking, token, breeding. And then on the midday, yeah, there was one sale. I was distraught. I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, that's when I found out that I'd risked all my capital, and I'd almost lost it all, right? And that's another thing that's really important, to be honest, is managing how much money you really put into these projects, right? And how much you're willing to lose. Because I mean, when I had put all my money into this project, I was stressing for days, almost a week. I'm not gonna lie, of how I was gonna get the money back, but somehow I actually managed to sell all 7 of them between me and my friend, although it was for a loss. And considering the min price was 0.05, and I mean at that time, 0.05 was, I mean, they minted 18th of December. Yeah, around $4,000. We're talking $200 per NFT, right? So between me and my friend, we spent $1,400 just on these NFTs, right? And there's one sale on the first day. So yeah, I managed to sell all of them and get some money back. Thank God. But that goes into my next trade, which was pretty awful, which I think actually ties into my next point. Actually, no, not yet. Metastones, right? So I mean, after that, I managed to get my liquidity back, right? And I actually finally got into, I guess, a hyped project, right? I mean, it was one of them closed discords, it was when the pixel meta was really popping off, right? I was thinking, this bullish and whatnot, and love the community, the founder, all this stuff. And I remember I minted this for 0.15, and again, same mistake. I didn't take profits, right? I minted it for 0.15. I remember seeing like the first sell for 0.6, then 0.5, 0.4. And then I remember it was chilling at like 0.3, 0.35 for a couple days. And I remember I was literally calling people. I was like, oh my gosh, I made this much money, a little 2x flip overnight and all this stuff. And they're like, I remember them telling me, like, why don't you sell? I was like, nah, sell? Nah, it can't be, right? I mean, it's bullish, And again, I took that risk. I held through reveal, obviously, 1, because I wanted to stay in the community, I guess, and 2, speculating that I was going to get a rare. And I mean, look at this now, right? Min price was 0.15. Had I held that, I mean, who knows, man? Who knows? Even a migration. Hold on. Oh, there you go. Basically a slow rug. Okay. But yeah, again, that actually ties into my next point of an edge in trading is simply having a higher probability of being right than wrong. And, me holding to reveal, that's no longer even trading at that point, to be honest. Holding to reveal is probably the biggest gamble you can do in NFTs, right? Because let's be real. I mean, obviously, this is not a statistic that I've actually worked out, but I mean, come on, like 90% of projects just dump on reveal, right? I mean, the only 2 that I've seen that have pumped on reveal have been Azuki and maybe Boki, right? So at that point, you're literally throwing trading out the window, and you actually have better odds just going on black on roulette. It's a 50-50, right? And how I can relate probabilities to crypto, I'll actually go and show how. Oh, sorry for the infinite screen again. I'll go and show how I actually structured one of my posts. Hold on. It was a while back. Okay. This one, right? Let me just open it up. Okay, I'll just run through how I used probabilities and statistics to structure this analysis, right? So if I just go to my ETH chart real quick. Not this one. Is this one? Oh no, it's this one. Okay. What's that doing on there? Pretty sure it was the 4-hour time frame. Yeah, 4-hour time frame. Okay. So I'd say one of the most important things when you're coming up with these analyses and trading setups is to back test, right? And what I mean by that is you find previous instances where kind of the same things line up in a way. Right? So let me just get rid of this indicator real quick. So what I mean by that, I can show you, right? So the way I structured this trade here, and if you see the two vertical boxes on the right, you see the 20.55% and the 24% horizontal bars, right? Those were my two targets, right? But I was leaning more towards the 20.55%, right? And I'll show you how I got to get that, right? So when I made the post, right, you see ETH was trading at 12.27, okay, and that was, I'm pretty sure that was on the 8th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the 8th. Okay, so if I just do a vertical line right there, right, the 8th of July. Okay, so ETH was trading up there, and the reason I made the post at that time is because I noticed that, you know, you see this horizontal cyan box right here. I was noticing that, you know, ETH was already starting to wick. I mean, you see this like this line here, right? When it has a wick like that, it means it's starting to show weakness, right? At that level, and I saw that it was getting rejected basically, and I went and looked back at the previous times that ETH had been rejected from this level, right? So if I just map them out, it would be like right here, right here, and right here. Okay, so if I just get out a price range real quick and just measure what kind of drop that was. Okay, so actually that was a bigger drop now I think about it. Okay, so around almost 21% on that one. Yeah, this one was a big drop, 29%. And this last one, this last one was around 22%, right? So what I did was I took the averages of all of those, right? So if I just get out the calculator real quick. So 20.92 plus 29.24 plus 22.06 equals 72.22, right? And obviously to find the average, you divide by how many you're adding up. So I divided that by 3, and well, you know, I get 24.07, right? So let me just map that out real quick. So I'll just go to that level. 24.08, yeah, good enough. All right. The thing is, the reason I came up with the 20.55%? Yeah, 20.55% target is because I saw, right, that the 29% here was, I mean, it was a bit of an outlier, right? Because, I mean, this one was basically 21%, this one was 22, so there's only 1% difference here, but about a 7-8% difference between the both of them, right? And not only that, but these two, this one and this one, had been rejected from the top of the range, right? Whereas this one had been rejected from the lower end of the range. So I was more leaning towards, you know, a 20% move, you know, from because this one was the same, it was coming from the top of the range, right? So, and that was also in confluence with this target right here, right? A target that I mentioned, you know, in many posts before this anyway, right? In target with this low, right? Right there. So as well as all of this, I looked at the stochastic, right? The stochastic is an indicator that kind of measures the momentum kind of price action, right? And you could see that 2 out of the 3 times that had been rejected at this level, this RSI was, and when it's over this dotted line here, which represents 80%, I would consider that like, inverted commas overbought, I guess, or I'd say overextended, I guess. But yeah, both of those times it was kind of reaching those levels and got rejected, right? And I saw the same here that was going to get rejected, right? So I mean, this ties into the tip I mentioned as the highest probability was. I mean, obviously in this one, yeah, it was pretty low, right? So I'm saying 2 out of the 3 times it was at a high level with the stochastics. So it was the highest probability, from my point of view that it was not going to break this level here and it was going to follow what these two had done previously, right? And what do you know? It played out that 20.5% move, and I mean, missed out by how much? I'll just delete that real quick. Yeah, missed out by 0.35, 0.36%, right? And that's just all through, just going through back testing and just seeing where, certain things have, lined up in the past, right? And I think that's a very important thing in trading. Okay, let me just see my next point. Okay, yeah, my next point is trade, don't gamble, and don't get greedy, right? Because I'm sure a lot of us are degens here, right? In the NFT space, I mean, we see a 5 to 10x gain, and we don't even take profits, right? And that was one thing in the past that I quite like to do, right? Was I would like to think of NFTs in terms of charts, right? So if I saw an NFT go up like 2 to 5x, I would kind of think to myself, if I was holding a coin, a crypto coin, right, and I saw the chart go up 2 to 5x, would I take profits? Yes, I would, right? Hold on. This also ties into holding through reveal as well, because like I said, that's a gamble. And I mean, you look at a project like I'm not trying to throw shade here, but I'm just giving examples, right? You look at a project like you look at a project like PXN, right? Gosh, I mean, influencers shitting the crap out of this, right? And I think it ran to like 6 ETH or something. I mean, that was the average price, but hold on. 4 or 5 ETH. I remember seeing it at like 5 ETH, right? But I guess people were speculating they were going to get rares, right? And honestly, that was not a trade anymore. That's the biggest gamble, right? Because anyhow, they have one problem with the reveal, and you don't get a rare. I mean, not only are you going to be mad you don't get a rare, but the fact that if there's a problem reveal is the decline is going to be amplified, right? And funny thing is, they really did have a problem with the reveal. There was the whole copyright issue and the issue with the brightness, and I mean, look at it now. I mean, 0.24. I don't even look at that anymore, to be honest. Okay. And again, how can I say this? Hold on. Don't get greedy, right? If I go back to my initial trade that I made with D-Race, which is one of my first trades, right? Some of us tend to come up with these mental barriers, like, I'm not going to sell until it reaches this price or reaches this level. And I mentioned D-Race before about how I didn't take profits, right? Hold on. Let me just get up a daily chart so it's a bit easier. About how I didn't take profits, right? Even though I saw it go up by, 170%. And that's purely because, I was watching all these YouTube videos and these guys were calling for a 500 million to a billion market cap, right? So I said to myself, I'm not even going to sell until it reaches a $500 million market cap, and I'm pretty sure for it to reach that, it had to go up like another. I think it was to like almost $15, right? Which would have been another 15%, 90% on top of the initial 170, right? So I mean, some of that is just not sustainable, you know. And unfortunately, I didn't see it back then, right? Sorry, I'm a bit ill. You have to bear with me. Where was I? Yeah, so we come up with these barriers, right? And if you don't know what I mean by market cap, I can explain real quick. Okay, so yeah, market cap, right? It's basically the price times the circulating supply of the token, right? So how many tokens are out for trading, right? So I mean, you can see this market cap is 1.6, forget it, 1.68 billion, right? And the fully diluted is 3.9, right? Quickly that basically means that and you really got to be careful with this, with the fully diluted market cap when you're investing in coins, right? So a good example of this is a coin called Credo, right? If you see the market cap is 28 million, right? But the fully diluted is 582. Oh, 80 just changed. 585, right? For those of you that don't know, this means that the difference between this, right, is the fully diluted is what the market cap would look like if all of the tokens that have initially been made were released into circulating supply, right? So, say if I wanted to be a long-term investor in Credo, right, and I bought a few tokens, right, I would have to find out when these tokens are vested out into the supply, right? Because regardless of whether the price goes up or not, right, if they start releasing tokens, then my whole bag is going to go down because they're going to be diluting the circulating supply, right? And if you know about traditional economics, you know that if you increase the supply, the price is going to go down, right? So that's just a quick thing on market cap, real quick. Hold on. Okay. Another thing about gambling, and I hate to use this as an example because I know we've got a lot of jurors here, and we've got ties with Jira. But the only reason I'm doing this is because I actually saw this live because I was actually part of the Jira community, and I actually saw this happen, in live time, right? So we all know how airdrops go, right? Airdrops are a big gamble, and I remember. Hold on. What was it? I remember when the Gen 2s came out, right? Where was it? I think it was somewhere around here. Oh no, it was way before that. April. When did the Gen? I can't remember, but the Gen 2s came out, right? And I remember the Gajira Genesis was at around 20 ETH, right? And they were allocated, I think it was three Gen 2s per Genesis. I think it was either like one free mint and two paid, or it was like two free airdrops and and one paid NFT, right? And again, airdrops are a big gamble, and so are Gen 2s in a way. I mean, the thing is, you could have literally sold the same Genesis, right, for 20 ETH before the Gen 2, right? Had 20 ETH in the bag, but I mean, after fees, okay, I guess maybe you would have 18.5 ETH or something like that. And you could have bought the Gen 2s, right? The same three Gen 2s. I remember seeing that floor price at like between 0.8 and an ETH, right? But let's go with the higher level as an example, right? You could have bought the same three for a total of 3 ETH, and the Genesis went to like a floor of I think 10 ETH or something. So you could have bought, the whole what you were gonna have anyway for 13 ETH. 18.5 minus 13, you're gonna have 5.5 ETH left over, plus the three Gen 2s and the Genesis, right? But I saw people, they were taking that gamble. This was just a small percentage of the Genesis because I know a lot of the Genesis, they're real diamond hands, But I saw a small percentage of them were trying to, sell all four of them in one fell swoop, right? They were trying to drop the floor of the Genesis, but obviously, since it's such a low supply collection, there's not going to be much volume, right? So, they just kept dropping the floor and undercutting each other, and they ended up doing the same with the Gen 2s because I remember the Genesis mint and the what was it, the blind bidders, I think. Blind bidders? Yeah, the blind bidders, they minted first. So obviously not many people are going to buy it when there's only like a small amount of the supply out, right? So they literally undercut the floor from like, I remember seeing it at like 3 4 ETH all the way to like zero point 0.8 to 1 ETH, right? And so I mean they made, right, they would have sold the Genesis for 10 ETH, right, and sold them for like say 3 ETH and made 13 ETH when they could have sold the Genesis before, bought all three of them back, all four of them back, sorry, and had 5.5 ETH to spare, right? So yeah. And again, I think maybe some of the reasons that some people don't sell is due to my next point, right? And that's to not feel peer pressure in terms of sell shaming and paper hands, right? And I really don't like the term paper hands, to be honest, because I mean, in my opinion, flippers really make a project, right? Because they set the floor, right? You kind of need flippers, in your project, right? But thing is, everyone has different financial needs, right? And I'm sure a lot of people in the space, they're not really loaded with ETH like that, and most of the time, they're using most of their liquidity in these trades, right? Sorry, they're using most of their liquidity in these trades, right? But yeah, again, I mean, even I fell victim to this, right? I joined a community. I remember I joined Habibi's very far back in the day, and I was shook. I was very scared to sell because I was rocking my Habibi as my profile pic. I was a avid member of the community, and I knew that if I listed on the floor, they were gonna see my profile pic and be like, "Oh, yo, Bankai, like, what's up, man?" You know. And I remember hearing a story one time. I think it was in a Disto Apes VC. And I'm not going to mention any names, right? But I remember hearing from this guy, he bought into Crypto Skulls. I don't know if any of you guys know about that. Crypto Skulls, right? So it's an OG project. And basically what happened was, I remember even seeing the notification on one of the trading bots in one of my discords that Gary V bought into this project, right? And I'm pretty sure that this same guy, let me go all time. He bought into the project before the pump, right? Yeah, oh my gosh, hold on. Maybe if I go into the 90 days, I'll get clarity. Okay, yeah, there we go. So, I mean, you could probably tell by the volume which day Gary V bought, right? But you got to imagine that this project was, about 0.05 ETH before, right? And Gary V bought in, and I remember seeing this pump all the way to 2 ETH initially, and I was thinking like, oh damn, like it is too far gone, right? It's gonna retrace from here. Next thing I know, like they're having an AMA with Gary V, and it's already gone to 4 ETH, right? We're talking that's like a it's like an 80x, right, from the from the 0.05, right? Like if you saw that on a coin, you would have to sell straight away, right? But I remember hearing this same guy and someone else, I mean, I'm not going to mention any names again, but someone that you guys know was telling him to sell. He was like, oh, come on, man. He's good friends with the guy, right? He's like, oh, just sell it. And his reasoning was, he's an active member of the community. They all know him. They're going to be like, oh, why are you selling? Why are you selling? All of this, all of that. When really he could have come out with with an 80x gain, waited about, almost a month later and bought like 3 or 4 of them, or even just one, and had 3 ETH to spare, right? But I guess, like I said, come back to the point, he felt the peer pressure, right, or the shame, and you really, when you're making trades, you can't let that get to you, right? Because I mean, like I said, everyone has different financial positions, right? But you can't let people that you don't even know in real life, essentially you just type into them on Discord. You can't let them get in the way of you, having success, in the space. Okay, hold on. Berries.
Yeah.
Is it alright if I go to the toilet real quick? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
sorry. Hold on. Let me just mute my mic.
In the meanwhile, I'll just sing and keep people happy.
Alright, yeah,
No,
keep
I'm
them
joking.
company.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Wow, the infinite screen again. God, I remember Crypto Skulls. I was there, never bought, but watched people buy in at like, I don't know, 0.5, 1 ETH, all kinds of levels, and they made some profit. Astra, did you feel like this pain in your stomach when Bankai showed the PXN screen, PXN collection? I mean, even I did. Oh, you can't talk, I bet, but
I'm still feeling it, honestly.
literally me too. Like when I see the PXN, I used to use it as my Twitter profile picture. At some point, I was like, no, I can't look at this because I feel pain. Like, it's so sad to associate a nice PFP with those types of feelings.
Yeah. Armand, listen to this. I bought rank 50 for 7 ETH. 7, just to flip it
PX10.
immediately. Yeah. And 2 days later, it
Oh my! And you also don't cut losses, right? Like when it starts dropping,
I
you're like,
couldn't.
okay.
Yeah, it dropped to 2, and I didn't want to sell it too. Like.
Oh my god.
Yikes! Yeah, that was the worst play ever.
People trusted the team a lot. To be fair, we say trust the team, not the project. I mean, people thought that they would deliver, but like, man, it's unbelievable. Oh wow, Harsh, you woke up from your sleep?
Yeah.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
But yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, we are recording them, so no need to worry.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is nice. This is nice. Painful, but nice. Oh, Temmy's also here. Man, yeah, but Franco, it's insane that you actually bought it for 7 ETH. Damn.
That was big yikes, to be honest.
Oh, man, the things we did in this space.
I think it's in my hidden wallet right now.
Oh my god. Oh, so sad.
If it makes you feel better, I have one for free plus ETH.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
I took some little profits, but yeah, I mean, if the team decides to screw you, then yeah, you're NGMI.
Yeah, like, and it's so unpredictable. You never really know. So yeah, it's still a gamble, but
Yeah, but I think like it's two factors, because PXN is in my eyes like a bit special, because strategic wise, I would always like take profit. But if, let's say, the founder is like, yeah, tomorrow you have like an announcement, whatever, and nothing happens, then you're screwed, right? So
yeah.
it's kind of a gamble, but yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, I would say.
I guess a lot of feelings are involved, especially if you've been in the space for a long time.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. For someone joining recently, they would think we're all crazy for doing these things. I don't know. Bankai, you're back?
Yeah, crazy for doing what?
Crazy. No, we were talking about how sometimes we buy and hold things and sometimes you just sell.
Oh,
And
yeah, we
Franco
get
was
attached
telling
to
us
projects,
about,
right?
Franco was telling us about how he bought a rare Pixen for 7 ETH.
Oh, damn. When was
And
that?
yeah, I'm just saying, anyone who saw this, who didn't know about NFTs, they would think
Yeah, I think what we're
You
doing,
know, like,
you know, fucking sell that, right? But
yeah.
then
But-
we get attached to these things.
Yeah,
right?
we all do it. We all do it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just the space turns you into a degen before you realize it. So there's not
Yeah,
much we can do.
we have unrealistic targets, you know. I mean, you can't even really make some of these gains anywhere else, to be honest. And I feel like, you know, some of us take it for granted almost. I don't know.
Yeah, psychological.
Yeah, like I said, I like to think about it like a crypto chart, right? If a crypto chart goes up 2 to 5x, you know, I'm going to be taking profits, right? But I mean, a 2 to 5x in NFTs is like, what even is that? You know, we think that we need to think of that as like nothing, right? You know, it's literally nothing. You know, and it really warps our perception of money. You know, almost. Oh, the infinite screen. Hold on, let me go for that. Okay. Oh yeah, my next point. Right, so you will gain more confidence from the losses you cut short rather than from your big wins, right? And I can actually relate to this crypto-wise, because I remember I had my portfolio of coins, of altcoins. I had a few metaverse coins. I had some ETH, AVAX, Atom, and I remember my favorite coin, Ultra, which was a metaverse coin. Now, this is the old TA I had from back then. I decided to keep it. I remember Ultra, my favorite coin, right? It was a metaverse coin. It was meant to be the Steam of crypto gaming or whatever. You know, they were gonna have. They weren't making a game, but you know, game companies were gonna, you know, import their software or their games onto this platform. You know, you're gonna pay like a monthly fee or whatever in the native token, and you get to play, you know, a wide selection of games, right? You know, I was a big fan of it, and I remember one day, and you know, I was hearing from some people, right, that a big move to the downside was coming up, right? Like a 40-50% move in Bitcoin, right? And I remember you see this purple box here. I mean, I was buying UOS, you know, every time. I mean, I started buying it after this little pump here. Every time it went hit this lower end of the purple box, you know, I was buying it, right? Because I mean, at that point, I was looking to invest in the market, right? So yeah, I was just dollar costing into it, right? And then I remember seeing it on this day, right? And even when I didn't really know too much about technical analysis back then, and I was kind of just drawing trend lines and stuff, I saw it fell out of this trend of higher lows, right? You see all the way from back here, right? A few higher lows. And I remember, yeah, this day, 10th of April, right? If I just move this, you'll see that, you know, it went back down and it went up to test the trend again. And that's where I had to think to myself, right? And this is a thing in crypto, you know, we do a lot, right? We put a lot of money in that, you know, we're not really willing to risk, you know, but it's just all about, you know, making gains and stuff, right? But I had to really think to myself, was I really willing to risk my portfolio over UOS breaking back into trend when, you know, at that point, I'm pretty sure I was selling for around a break even or just over or just under, right? And I mapped out, what I did is I mapped out all the support and resistances, right? As you see with these blue lines here that, you know, it could possibly go to. And I thought to myself, am I willing to see it at this price, right? Absolutely not, right? So I remember that day I sold my whole portfolio, right? I sold UOS there. I had Atom. Yeah, I was buying Atom between 25 and 28, right? So like between this level and, you know, around here, same thing happened. Even with the little technical analysis I knew that, damn, this, you know, this is a trend that goes way back, right? All the way to what can I say, July of last year, right? Saw it break out, went for the retest around here, and let me get rid of that. The retest around here. And again, I did the same thing. I mapped out the possible targets, and you know, it really scared me. Not gonna lie. So I sold there, and look what happened. Right. Same thing, Vulcan Forged. Right. And you know, gosh, I wish I knew a bit more back then. Right. Because I bought I bought PYR, right, Vulcan Forge, and this could have been a really good trade, right? I bought it here around $9, and I saw it go all the way up here, right? I mean, what kind of game is this? And this again ties into the tip of taking profits, right? Yeah, there you go. Goes up around 119%, right? 120%. And in a bear market, and I didn't take profits, right? Why? Because I kept these levels because this is what I was thinking back then, right? I thought that it was possibly going to break this resistance, right? Because I didn't think too much was going on here, and go up to this one, and I can get that extra what? What would have been the difference? An extra 14%, right? But again, I held on and ended up selling here for about 14, but I mean, it was actually 15. It was the day before. I remember selling for 15, right? Which, I mean, it was still a good trade. It was around, 15, around 15. Okay, about a 67% gain. I mean, yeah, it's all right, in a bear market, but I could have come out with almost double, right? Had I just taken profits. I mean, a 2x in a bear market, I mean, come on, that's not really sustainable. You really have to take profits at that point. And I don't know if you guys listened to Manos's session from before, but he said a point that really resonated with me, to be honest. And it was never let a green trade go red, right? And he was saying that anytime that a trade of his went up 20%, he would set a stop loss at break even, just because you never want to see it go red, right? But I mean, he was saying that in a bull market, to be honest. But like, I mean, after seeing a pump like this, I probably should have done the same thing. What else did I have? AVAX. Oh my gosh, yeah, this is damn bad. I remember I bought AVAX at 72, and again, I didn't take profits, right? I bought it at 72. I saw it go up there, which is around 43%. For a top 10 coin, that that is quite a gain, right? Again, didn't really take profits, held on to it, but luckily, I didn't let it go red, and I sold here for 89, right? Still made, I don't know, about a 23% gain. It's not too bad, but I could have come out with like a 40% gain. But after I sold, actually, an ETH as well. If I just look at my ETH chart, it's hiding somewhere. Ignore all that. I sold ETH. What was it? 10th of April. Yeah, I sold ETH here, right? Around just over 3,000. So yeah, I literally sold everything I had into USDT. I had no more crypto, no more NFTs, nothing. I was out of the market. Why? Because I anticipated this drop, right? And I remember after seeing this drop, I got a bit confident. I was pretty happy. I sold early. I kind of knew what was going on before, and this is the point in my NFT career, should I say, that I started making really bad trades, right? And when I say confidence here, right, this really led me to be overconfident, right? That I was right about kind of my losses, and this led to all my biggest losses coming after my wins, right? Sorry, and I'm quite ill. So yeah, what happened was I sold, and I got impatient, right? Because I remember I sold in April, right? And I only got back into the market when ETH was around here, right? So just after the beginning of May, right? I bought some ETH, and I remember I was thinking to myself, because I was feeling huge FOMO, right? Because if I just go to Doom Analytics, right? You see that April was it was a pretty good month. I'm pretty sure that's the the second highest volume in OpenSea, right? So I mean, I was watching all of this stuff pump, and I was out of the market, right? And I was thinking to myself, right? I was looking at the whole economic situation with inflation running rampant, and the interest rate hikes imminent, and I was kind of under the assumption that everyone kind of knew what was going on, but clearly, I mean, in NFTs, I kind of forget that people don't even read the announcements in the Discord, right? So they clearly didn't know what was going on. And I got impatient, I was seeing all of this, and I FOMO'd back into the market, and I bought in. And here's another thing, yeah, FOMO, don't do it. It's a drug, right? I bought in, yeah, around there, around 227, right? Right before the drop that I was anticipating, and that was the worst part. To be honest, that really did hurt, because I'd seen this coming, right? But I felt a FOMO, and I got impatient. And what I did was I bought that money. Sorry, I bought the ETH, and I used it to buy a. I was thinking to myself, all right, I'm gonna invest in an alpha pass, right? Try and get as many whitelist spots as I can. I was planning to hold it for like a month or two. It was a plug pass, right? Let me see. Plug pass. Damn. I don't say that. But yeah, I bought the plug pass for 1.5 ETH, and I remember I was in the Discord, and like again, I'm not trying to throw shade at any projects. I'm just trying to be realistic about the situation, right? I was in there, and usually when you go into an alpha Discord, there's the founder, and then there's like a whole list of like alpha callers and stuff, and there really was that, to be honest. There was just there was Kosher Plug, obviously, was there, and it was kind of just like the community in the gen chat, and like it was kind of more like there was like automated, like it was like bots kind of thing. I don't really know how to explain it, but it just wasn't like the rest of the alpha Discords I've been in, to be honest. So I cut my loss. And again, like I said, that's a really important thing in this space, to know when to cut your loss and to not get attached, right? So I cut my loss. I sold for 1.3 ETH. I mean, after fees, I probably got 1.2 back. So I took about a 0.3 loss, but that wasn't even the worst trade. I took that money, and again, like I said, I cut my losses. I was sitting comfy. I was happy. I bought into 3 lenders, right? And this links into my previous point of gambling. Trade, don't gamble, right? Because I remember, because I had made a bit of ETH off the bull market, right? And I said I was overconfident. I wanted to get into a higher tier project, right? And just hold it, which it really went against everything that I believed in, because I was a flipper, right? I didn't really hold nothing apart from my Habibis, right? Because I wanted to stay in the alpha Discord, and that was pretty much it, right? I was always flipping, right? But for some reason, I got overconfident. I was confident in the market for whatever reason, and I completely went against my thesis, and FOMO got the best of me, right? I mean, that's what FOMO can do, right? It can literally lead you to go against your own principles and decisions, right? So damn, I don't even see it was this low, but I bought into 3 lenders at 1.75, yeah, 1.75, right? And it was all speculation, right? Because I was really deciding between My Pet Hooligan and 3 lenders, right? My Pet Hooligan, it was the one I was really leaning towards, right? Because I was doing my research on the project, and I saw, they had good investors. I saw that they had the alpha of their game releasing, which was, I remember actually seeing it was very good. I can't lie, it's one of the best NFT games I've seen in the space, right? They had their staking coming up, their token. It was all, it would have lined up for a good trade, right? Staking, token, shock supply, supply shock, sorry, supply shock, that generally just drives the price up, but I remember hearing after, I was deciding to buy My Pet Hooligan, that 3 lenders were coming up with some sort of utility or whatnot. And I remember, seeing a lot of people in this space who were bullish about this project, calling it the next blue chip or whatever. And again, I let FOMO get the best of me, and I thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna buy in at 1.75, and I was aiming to sell between like 2.2 and 2.5 based on the whatever bullish announcement they were releasing. But again, I was gambling, not trading, because it was all speculation, right? It was all speculation because I didn't know what they were going to release, right? And with my Pehligans, I knew what they were going to do. And little did I know, I mean, I bought in at 1.75. Let's see if I can find where it is. I don't know if I can, but it was like 2 months ago, right? So, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I bought in around here. Yeah, I bought in around here. Literally the local top, right? I bought here. And funnily enough, after this was the period where everything was going down in crypto, right? You had Luna collapsing to zero, 3 Arrows Capital going bankrupt, Voyagers going bankrupt, all because of Luna, right? And this has literally happened like a couple of days to a week after I completely went against my own thesis, fell to FOMO, and bought into three landers. And I was thinking, at this 1 ETH mark, I'm thinking, all right, 1 ETH is a mental barrier, right? And that's the thing, we create these mental barriers on our head, right? The 1 ETH mark, the 2 ETH mark, I thought I was going to hold this 1 ETH mark, and I got attached. I got attached to it. I was rocking it as my PFP. I was always in the Discord, all this, all that, and I got attached to the project, right? And little did I know, I ended up selling for 0.9, right? So, I mean, I lost about 0.9 ETH, but you have to bear in mind that I sold for a 0.8 loss or 0.85 loss, but at the same time, ETH had literally gone down like 40%, right? And that's another thing you have to kind of consider when you're investing long term, right? Because the price you buy in at a certain point, is always going to change, right? You can invest, in a 2 ETH project, and then, ETH goes down 50%, and next thing you know, even though the floor price is still 2 ETH, I mean, technically it's 1 ETH, right? So yeah, I fell to FOMO, and I bought into there, and I sold it, right? And then I probably hit the worst trade. I used that money, right? And I was thinking, I mean, I completely switched my whole mentality at this point, right? I was thinking, I can't just sit with a almost 50% loss, right? I have to get this money back somehow, right? So I fell to FOMO again. I remember I rushed into this trade so much. I bought PXN, right? But I didn't buy it where a lot of the people who were complaining were bought it. I bought it around. Damn, look at that chart. I bought in. I'd like to say. Yeah, around here. Yeah, I bought it around here because I was thinking to myself again with these with the mental barrier. I was thinking, oh, it's gonna hold 1 ETH again. It's not trading, it's gambling. I'm thinking, it's all speculation. I'm thinking it's gonna hold that 1 ETH mark. I remember it was at like 1.2 that day, and I started to feel FOMO because I saw the floor, and I saw like 7 get bought up, in like the half an hour period. I was trying to transfer some ETH down my ledger. I was literally sweating. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to buy in quick, not even following my own principles, right? Because I remember one of my biggest principles that I rarely followed, to be honest, but it's an important one to have, right? And that is to, again, only invest where you can afford to lose, right? So I would only say invest a fifth max of your portfolio, right? So if I had 2 ETH and I was going to hold something, I would only hold something that was maximum like 0.4 ETH, right? Because then at that point, I know if that 0.4 ETH goes down to 50% to 0.2, I won't be as bothered as where if I invest into like a 1.5, 2 ETH with all my liquidity and it goes down 50%, then, I won't be as bothered, right? Than if I, invest all my liquidity. And I think, this ties in, this was my next point. Yeah, FOMO. Yeah, that was the next point. Yeah, be patient, right? What I was just talking about. And then I got attached to my position, right? And a lot of us tend to do this in this space, right? We hold on to these NFTs and it's like, there's no real reason, like, because I mean, we're all here to make money, right? But then, people ask you to sell, like, why you not sell? It's like, oh, come on, I have to hold it. There's the community, the upcoming utility, but realistically, most of it is just speculation, to be honest, right? And the same thing happened to me, right? I was speculating, PXN, they have all these funds, they're gonna, do something with these funds. They have the white boxes coming up, which is just like the nanoparts black boxes. They're gonna get great whitelist spots, Again, with speculation. And I decided to hold on to it, and I was attached to it because I kind of really like the art. I'm an anime fan. I really like the art. I had it as my PFP and everything. I was in the Discord pretty much every day, chatting amongst the fellow holders and stuff. And I remember my friend kept telling me to sell. He's like, just sell it, just sell it. I'm like, nah, come on, they got this, that coming up, and but nothing was set in stone, really. There was no dates. There was just the initial, I guess, roadmap, and the team kind of went silent, but I still defended them for whatever reason. Well, because I was attached to it, right? And I remember it went down to like 0.6, right? So already I was down like over 50% on the trade. After fees, 70%, right? And then they announced they had like an AMA coming up, right? And because I was so attached to the project, I got excited, man. I'm thinking, oh, finally, it was like after like 2-3 weeks of silence from PXN, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they're finally going to announce something bullish, right? And this is where, again, I wasn't trading, I was gambling, because I could have cut my loss because I saw it go up from 0.6 to 0.9, right? And I could have got away with a 0.4 loss, right? But there's always that phrase, right? Buy the news. Oh, sorry. Buy the rumor, sell the news, right? But to be honest, in my opinion, the real play is to buy the rumor and sell right before the news, right? Because that's the least risk. Because with these things, the news tends to be priced in with the rumor, right? Because people hear these rumors, they start buying in, on anticipation of the news, and everyone has the same idea, right? They're going to do the same thing, right? They're going to buy the rumor and they're going to wait till the day is dropped, and they're all going to sell, and they're going to end up undercutting each other, right? But that doesn't always happen, because obviously it depends on what kind of news is released. But again, that's gambling, right? Speculation, right? So I decided to hold through the AMA, and little did I know, they announced nothing, right? They literally announced nothing. And again, I could have sold at 0.9 and taken a 0.4 loss and cut my loss, but I decided to hold on. And next thing I know, I'm selling for 0.49, right? And damn, lucky I cut my loss then, because it's just literally gone down another 50%, right? Okay, let me see what's next. Yeah, and this next point is pretty much what happened to me, right? One undisciplined trade can undo months of progress, right? Because all that money I'd made, well, most of it anyway, I'd made off the bull market, was literally undone with those 3 trades, right? Most of it. And it was all because I didn't follow my own principles, right? And that's what FOMO does, right? And, as soon as you feel FOMO, you kind of have to think to yourself, to your original thesis of, why am I buying into this? What is my entry, my exit strategy, right? Am I gambling? Am I trading, right? And how long do I plan to hold this for, right? Because I didn't even have any of those in mind. I just bought in because yeah, just FOMO, really. And you know, PXN was meant to be a big name in the space or whatever. And next thing I know, all of that progress I worked hard for was you know, undone. You know, that can easily happen to a lot of us, right? Yeah. Yeah, like I said before, you know, the only thing you can control is your risk, right? Because I mean, like I said, man, no one can say with 100% certainty where, you know, where the coins are going, where the NFTs are going. I mean, even when I do my ETH analysis in the Discord, right, I'm never 100% sure, right? And that's why I have to set, you know, validation and invalidation points, where what I mean by that is like, I can only say it's going to go up or down when certain criteria is met, right? So I mean, if I try look in my channel, okay, um, just give me a second. Okay, maybe I'll just go with one of the more recent ones, right? So, see, with this one, I remember I mentioned on a post before, right, that if there was a close above 1655 or 1653 on CME, right? And I was judging this over this little gap here, right, that needed fulfillment, right? And it would already broken the I don't know if you can see here, that 1476 level. So I was already expecting it to work its way up to 1653, right? But I could only say with certainty where I was going to go, and obviously, like I said, there's never 100% certainty, you know, with a close above 1653, right? And what happened? Where are we? Yeah. There was the close. If I get on like an hourly. Yeah, damn, that was a big candle, right? The close above the 1655 level, and then I knew from then it was gonna go reach the top of the breakdown level and my target of 1788, right? And I mean, where did it reach? 1783, you know. But like I said, you can never say 100% with certainty, you know, where the NFTs are going, where the market was going. Like I said, the only thing you can control is your risk. And like I mentioned before, like say with NFTs, you should never invest your full bag or even half your bag, to be honest, because, you know, you could have what happened to me, you know, have your whole progress undone by just a few trades, right? By the way, if anyone has any questions, just feel free to interrupt. Let me just see. Okay. Yeah. Well, pretty much ties into the last point. Focus on risk management and protecting your capital. And I know this is a bit of a cliche saying sometimes, right? But protecting your capital, right? Sometimes is better to do nothing than doing a trade, right? Because if I stuck with my original thesis, right, of staying out of the market, right, because I was anticipating the drop. So I remember I got out 10th of April, right? Okay, so yeah, I sold around here, and if I stuck with my original thesis of just waiting until all of this plays out and doing nothing and protecting my capital, right? Protecting my, not my ETH, but my dollars, right? Then I could have waited. I could have bought literally when, I mean, to be honest, I was speculating that this 1000 level was going to hold, you know. a lot of people were calling for $500 at this point. I can't lie, it was really annoying me, and this tends to happen a lot, right? You go on crypto Twitter, and you see everyone is calling for a certain price, and usually when that happens, it kind of does the opposite, right? I was literally seeing people, I will DCA in when it's $500. Where are those people now? You see it, and I'm not saying that we're gonna. This is the bottom, right? Because I don't think that. Where is this? I don't think that 884 is the bottom, right? I honestly think over time, whether it's a few weeks, a few months, I honestly think that we go lower, and this is all just one big bull trap, right? But for now, I'll leave that out, right? But like I said, yeah, everyone usually says one thing, and it does the opposite, right? Calling for $500, yeah, I was getting pretty annoyed. But back to my previous point, right? I could have sold, well, I did sell, but I could have waited, right? Protected my capital, did nothing, right? And I remember thinking to myself, at that point, if I, used all of that USD I had back then and, bought ETH here, I literally would have had enough to buy an Azuki and still be chilling, right? And bear in mind, I literally started with like 0.2 ETH in the space, right? So, I mean, I could have been chilling with that, right? But again, I fell victim to FOMO, and yeah, I lost quite a bit of money, right? Hold on. What's the next point? Okay. And I think this would be my last one before I wrap this up. Have realistic expectations and don't expect to get rich quickly. Focus on your own trading and don't worry about what other people are doing, right? And I know this is kind of hard sometimes, right? Because I remember in the bull market, I was seeing, so many people making gains, serious gains, I mean, I was literally there in the Azuki Discord before mint, and then I'm seeing these guys make like 20 ETH, right? And I'm just chilling there with, I'm pretty sure I didn't even have an ETH at that point, right? And, seeing people make these gains can, obviously makes you feel firmer, right? And it can force you to make bad trades because you start to force them, right? And again, this ties into what I was saying of, sometimes it's better to do nothing, right? Because I remember even before I was seeing all this happen, and it was funny because I was always missing the trades, or I was hesitating to the trades that actually pumped. And then when it came to the next trade, I was saying, okay, this last one pumped, this next alpha call has to go up, right? And then I'd buy in, and then it would literally be the one call that just goes down, right? Sorry. And the realistic expectations kind of ties into what I was saying earlier with, in NFTs, right? Our perception of money is definitely warped somewhat, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's literally no other industry you can go and make like these kind of gains. I mean, like I said on that crypto skulls earlier, there was an ATX in 2 days. I mean, where can you make that kind of money, right? And people still weren't selling, right? Why? Because, I mean, I wouldn't say it's not just because of a chart, but I don't know. I think it's just because we're so used to seeing these gains, right, that we just kind of get used to it. And like I said, most people see like a 2x and it's like, oh, yeah, that's average. A 2x in a day, that's kind of average. It's not even that much, right? But really, if ETH did like a 2x over the next week, everyone would be jumping for joy, right? Right. I think that about wraps things up for me right now. Does anyone have any questions on what I've covered so far? Doesn't matter if you don't, but if you have any, I'll be happy to answer. No? That's all good. That's all good.
You can also type it in VC chat if you want.
Yeah, you don't have to unmute your mic. It's okay.
Do you think it was necessary for you to suffer?
Hmm?
Do you think it was necessary for you to suffer, like this? I mean, you lost a lot in between. Do you think it's necessary to learn like this, or
Necessary to
just
learn.
think that
Good question.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I mentioned this, but oh yeah, it was the first point. Yeah, I mean, mistakes really, a lot of people, when you make mistakes, it depends how, what you take from it, really. Because, some people, they make a lot of mistakes, they lose money, and they decide, oh, you know what, I'm going to quit, right? And I remember there was actually a point, I didn't actually mention it earlier, but after that second trade I made with Metastones, right? And, I minted for 0.15, could have sold for 0.35 and ended up selling for 0.07. And that was pretty much all I had at that point because I was really broke, right? I'm just a university student, right? I was broke, right? I literally said to myself, oh, I've lost so much money, I'm going to quit, right? But then I remember, I think it was either the same day or maybe, the next day or something. I thought to myself, what am I doing? Like, I'm going to quit, forget it, right? So that was kind of the turning point for me to really get involved in the space and really find out how to start trading, right? And that's where I stopped kind of relying on my own decisions, right? And that mistake and that suffering, as you call it, led me to go and I was start to go into alpha that's when I found out what alpha discords were. I went to alpha discords, and I remember I was in the Habibis channel, and the way I kind of figured out how to, or learned how to start trading NFTs was, I remember there was a role in the Habibis Discord, right, where if you owned 10 Habibis, you were a whale, right? And you would have like this bright red name. And every time I saw one of these whales in the chat, I'll start talking to them, and I'll start, asking, how they became a whale, how they start trading and getting advice of them. And if I took that mistake in a bad way, I don't even think I'd be here right now. So I mean, sometimes you have to make what's going on. Sometimes you have to make mistakes to learn from them and better yourself as a trader. To be honest, but again, like I said, it just depends how you react to that suffering, as you say. Yeah. I hope that answers your question.
yes, thanks.
No worries. Anyone else?
What's your take on trading with Gen Art?
General art.
Yeah, Gen Art, like Fidenza, Surge, or whatever.
See, I don't even know if I have too much of a view on that because I haven't really looked into it that much. But Fidenza, I mean, I've heard about them before. It'll be more for like, it's more like, it's not even a utility kind of thing, right? It's more like just a collector's kind of thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there are some with utilities, and some majority of them aren't. It's just for the art. But I just wanted like your take on how you trade these things, long term, how you look at it. Because here you're not really talking about volume. You're more talking about who the collectors are, who's the artist behind it, etc., etc.
I mean, this is a famous artist, right? So I don't really know too much about this, but is this a famous artist, right?
Yep.
Tyler Hobbs. Well, I think that obviously carries a bit of a stigma with it because it's not just like a Web3 venture. It's obviously a Web2, and he obviously has some sort of backing. And I don't think as long as he remains in the industry in terms of Web2 art, I don't feel as though this would suddenly die out like most Web3 projects. I mean, would you be referring to something as well like Hearst, like the what was it? The
Yeah,
currency.
Damien Hirst.
Yeah, this one. Oh, I actually quite like this one, right? I'm pretty sure if you burn the that's it, yeah. If you burn the NFT, I'm pretty sure you get like a real life copy of the currency. So I'm a big fan of this, to be honest, because that actually incorporates real life utility for in terms of collectors. But again, I don't really know how I would trade these, but I guess if it's a decreasing supply over time because they get burned, I wouldn't say it's a bad hold. I mean, yeah, I mean it's holding pretty well
Yeah.
considering it's a bear market, right? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's doing pretty well. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say this is a bad one to invest in, to be honest. Yeah.
And then let's say, what's your take on Chimpers?
Chimpers. Oh yeah, I like this one. Chimpers 1.6. Yeah, they've been holding that for a while. Damn. Yeah. I remember seeing them at 1 ETH. That pretty much looked like well, that's a great chart. I can't lie.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna pop during the.
Yeah, I mean that consolidation. I mean that's looking bullish to me, to be honest. I mean you see even with the declining volume. I mean you can barely even see these volume bars. The floor price is still holding, right? I mean how many are listed?
I think 300. What is it? 230.
Oh, there's another. Oh, yeah, two. Damn, like 5%.
A lot of them are staked. Yeah.
So they have done staking. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think they stake for XP. They got another collection for that. Chimpers training or something.
I mean, from what
But
I
yeah,
hear,
it looks like it's gonna pop.
yeah. I mean, from what I hear, I mean, I hear they've got a good community and whatever. I mean, I see a lot of those PFPs around. And to be honest, it just looks like they're waiting for like one or two bullish announcements and they can pop off back above the 2 ETH range, in my opinion. But I mean, yeah, I mean, all it takes is one of these volume bars here, right, to bring it back up. I mean, how many sales until 2 ETH?
So when you look at it, let's
Yeah.
say you say, okay, there are majority of these are staked. The chart has been stable for the past couple of weeks or months. What would be a good entry when you look at it this way?
A good entry. Let me see. Hold on.
Or how do you define that good entry regardless?
A good entry. Maybe I'd have to go to a different site. Hold on. Because obviously that just shows the average price. Hold on, how do I? Yeah, there we go. Get rid of that. Oh yeah, and also this is a. Before I mention that, this is a free website that's actually pretty useful. Called nftgo.io, and it shows some pretty cool things, right? You see the holders, the market cap of a project, and this is all free as well. You get the volume, floor price, and another cool feature that I'm a fan of is, where can I find it? Holders, right? You can actually see the blue chip holders who hold this project. So you can see there's 136 mutant holders, 100 moonbirds, 85 cool cats, 83 doodles, 81. Yeah, just even you can see the whales and stuff, right? Holding periods. So you can see.
It's a pretty strong community.
Yeah, it's strong. I mean, you can see that 61% have been holding for 7 to 30 days, and wow, 30% have been holding from 30 days to 3 months, right? I mean, that looks pretty bullish to me, right? But if I was going to go back to the floor price itself, if I can get a better chart up, higher time frame. Okay. I would kind of look for where there was kind of a bounce point. Okay, so that went to 1.15 ETH. And only been there really twice, kind of. 0.4, 0.5. I mean, it seems to hold this 1.5 pretty well, to be honest. But I mean, I would say anywhere between 1.2 and 1.5, 1.4 actually would be a decent entry in my opinion, to be honest. considering
Yeah.
how it's held this floor price, and it's only touched 1 ETH once, and that was literally not for that long, to be honest. Went straight back up to 1.7. So I mean, yeah, I mean, if you can catch anything pretty much underneath 1.5, 1.2 to 1.4, in my opinion, I'd say that's a good entry, to be honest.
I think the 1.2 that we're seeing there are where the worst days in the market.
Yeah,
Um,
and it didn't even go down that much, to be honest. Yeah, 1.2.
yeah, ETH was also really down. So yeah, I think 1.4 if you're lucky.
Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah, 1.4. Yeah. I mean, this is a really good
1.3,
chart to me, to
1.4.
be honest. I mean, like I said, with the low volume, considering it is holding this, I mean, it just shows the strength of the community, really. And I know Notice talks about this a lot, and he actually told me about this because I remember I was in the tribe before the mint, right? So I mean, Notice was like one of the first alpha callers I was listening to, and he was always saying that the most important thing was the community, right? And that really is what drives the price. When they're out on Twitter, posting about the community or the events going on or utilities or whatever, that just spreads the word, kind of thing, and maintains the price. I mean, the holders at the end of the day are the ones who decide, right? And it seems as though Chimpers have got a really solid community by the price. I mean, I don't even have to be in the Discord to tell this, right? You can just tell by the price that there's a solid community there. So yeah, I'd say anything between 1.2 1.4. I mean, 1.2, I'm saying that as like a damn, you're lucky if you kind of get that entry, right? But yeah, anything
Yeah,
between that
yeah.
as well.
Realistically, 1.4.
Yeah.
If lucky,
Yeah.
1.3, 1.2. Yeah, that's pretty good.
100%. Yeah.
That's awesome. I actually didn't see how you could tell the community strength through the chart, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, yeah, but I mean, yeah, you can just by the how much is consolidating, right? Because I mean, usually, like, and again, I'm not really trying to throw shade at a project, right? But if I go to PXN, I remember when I bought in, right? And again, I felt the FOMO and I got attached, right? Had I been an outsider, viewing this, I would not have bought in, right? I remember because you have to be a holder to see what's going on inside the Discord, right? And I went in there. I've never seen so much FUD in my life. Honestly, it was literally all FUD. Paragraphs of I bought at 4 or 5 ETH and blah blah blah. The team's gone silent. No announcements. All of this, all of that. And when you have a community like that, it really just shows on the price, right? I mean, there's that little pump there, but I mean, what even is that, right? It's just gone straight down. And I reckon they're probably still complaining in there. I mean, I don't know anymore because I'm not a holder, right? But I can probably tell by the price that things probably aren't that good in that Discord. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on in Chimpers, but it's probably chill vibes in there.
Yeah, pretty much chill vibes.
Yeah.
Anyone else got?
Yeah, I was about to say.
questions?
Alora is asking in VC chat if Bozo will do. If you think Bozo will do well.
I haven't actually looked in that one too much.
Yeah.
Can I? Is
Also fudded quite a bit, I believe. But
fudded, but in the Discord.
I'm not sure.
I'm guessing because of the min price, right?
I'm not sure. Alora was talking about it, but he didn't give details. So
I think I saw him earlier talking about it in the Discord about the min price.
Yeah, it's 0.4 over allocated. Really backed up by a good. Okay, so it's done by a good artist. And
it's Bozo Tokyo, the one we ran the raffle for.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I thought it was something I did it for a second. Just Bozo didn't ring any bells. It's weird. Yeah.
What is back? Like it's all the Japanese communities in Web3. They're supporting it.
I mean, is this a sneak peek? Is that what they look like? I'm not
Pretty
sure.
much. Not really. If you go on their main website, I think you can have a look at the NFTs.
I mean, already to me, 0.4 is a huge red flag, but I'm willing to see. Oh, so these are the partners. Oh, they're partnered with a. Does that mean they're going to release a token or something? These exchanges.
So they're gonna be staking these, I think, in stage 4. Of
That's
the
what I
roadmap.
thought. I mean, because it seems that, I mean, they're partnered with the exchanges, Bybit. I mean, yeah, they must have a token coming out, right? Okay.
And the whitelist is through a reserve method.
So what does that mean? Each address can reserve an NFT up until 3 times. Reserve equals NFT.
So you pay up front for 3 NFTs, and then once it's fully minted out from public, everyone receives their NFTs.
So what happens if it doesn't mint out?
Well, until the time is over from public, I guess, everyone is just gonna receive their NFTs.
Okay.
I'm assuming.
Okay. And then a Dutch auction at 1.2, and the minimum is 0.6. I don't know. I've already not liking this. I'm not gonna lie. 0.6 the minimum. I don't know. That is just gonna rile up FUD. I'm not gonna lie. In this market, I mean,
Maybe they don't know that it's bear market right now.
yeah, I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean that'd be my guess, right? Because I mean, people see a 0.15 mint price and they go crazy. Oh, so this is what.
And it didn't the Dutch auction meta die like a few months ago?
Yeah, I think PXN. I think Pixelmon started that one, to be honest. I mean, the art looks good, but I mean, what's the roadmap? NFT IP rights, Bozo experience, whatever that is. Engine, RPM. Oh, that's the staking. Okay. Metaverse. Okay, that's pretty far away. And so you basically just get IP and merch. I don't know. I mean, apart from the art, I just don't really see. Oh, this is the. What's this? Yeah, I don't really see too much going for this, to be honest. My thought is that people are going to see this 0.4 min price or whatever, and you know how people are. They're going to FUD, and FUD literally spreads like wildfire, especially in this market, right? But I don't know. Maybe if they have some good like backing or VC backing, they might do something. But what's the supply on this?
10K.
Oh gosh, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't really see this one doing that well, to be honest. But again, with NFTs, you don't really know. But just off face value.
I mean, the artist. If you look at the artist, there, message from Tenjin.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Teka. If you look at him, if you search him on Google, he's pretty well known.
Oh damn. Okay.
So yeah, that's the gamble. It's the gamble on him, I guess.
Tenjin. Oh yeah, because it's Japanese. It's the other way around. My bad. Oh, you what? Bandai Gundam. Oh damn. Space. Huh. Damn. Okay. I mean, does he have a big following? I'm guessing.
In Japan, yeah, he does.
Okay. I mean, that kind of changes things up a little bit. Then maybe purely off that. I mean, yeah, it could do all right. But I mean, just purely if I'm excluding that community right there, just off face value as a as an NFT trader from our community, it's not really a good look with a 1.2 ETH Dutch auction and a 0.4 min price. I mean, if that was 0.1 min price and then like a I don't know, like a 0.8 Dutch auction to like 0.2 minimum, 0.3, then it would give a much better look. But I mean, the only thing that's holding me back is the price, to be honest. I mean, it's a really well made website, and you can tell they've put a lot of work into it. I mean, the roadmap's kind of vague, but I mean, the art alone, I mean, yeah, it's pretty nice. I don't really have the strongest opinion, but I guess it just relies on the backing of the artist, to be honest. Yeah, I mean that's just my opinion. I can't really say too much, but again, it's just the price that's really it's really holding me back. But I mean, these partnerships are you know, not anyone can get these partnerships. So I mean, that must count for something, right? Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't give the strongest opinion at all. I'm sorry about that.
Well, it's been awesome. I guess we'll end it here.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Thank you. I've learned a lot.
Oh, appreciate that.
Appreciate it, man.
Right. Oh yeah, I need to stop recording.